friends, good morning. So welcome back to our channel VA Education. Today I'm here to teach you grade 8 Science Part 1 textbook. So in January only I'm going to graduate for grade 8. So before that as I'm grade 7 student now. Now our third term is now started. So I'm actually just reading what are the contents that we are having in this grade 8 also. So now I have taken from my iPad the chapter, the textbook. So you can go for Education and Publication Department and you can take the textbook. So in this science textbook part 1, you will be having 8 lessons, namely importance of microorganisms, animal classification, diversity and functions of plant parts, properties of matter, sound, magnets, measurements associated with electricity, changes in matter. So those are the lessons. Those are the 8 lessons which is included in this science part 1 textbook of grade 8. So I'm going to do your first chapter, importance of microorganisms. So please turn your book, or please if you are, so I'm reading it online. Page number 1. Section 1.1, microorganisms. So there are living organisms like which is visible and invisible to the naked eye. So in the grade 7 textbook, grade 7, we are having this lesson, right? So similar basic things we are having in grade 7. So please read it, that lesson and come up with this grade 8. So I will do that lesson also. Okay, so for the naked eye in our environment, like bacteria, so with some organisms, we should find it through microscope, electroscope, those two. So because we cannot see the exact thing what is in the surface of the environment. So in here, let us do activity 1.1 to observe the invisible living organisms. So, activity 1.1, you are having a small experiment or an activity, so please do it. So, if I am having the ability to go for this now, light microscope, I should buy that one. So, for to do these experiments with you all, so I doesn't have the ability to do it now. So, but very sorry for that inconceivable. So here they have given the what we can get from this activity. It is obvious that the unicellular, the fungal variety called yeast, can be observed mainly in the above sample. This organism cannot be examined to the naked eye in isolation, but can be observed through a microscope. So what we observe through this activity is sometimes this organism cannot be examined to the naked eye. We cannot examine the naked eye, but when we take in the microscope, we can observe it. So yeast is a microorganism. Remember, my dear friends, yeast is a microorganism. Unicellular, single-celled or multicellular organisms which cannot be observed clearly by naked eye are called microorganisms. So unicellular means, my dear friends, the single-celled. Multicellular means that there are many cells. So these ones you have learned through the grade 7. So they are called as microorganisms. So these microorganisms can be observed clearly through microscope. So remember, so these microorganisms can be observed clearly through microscopes. Microscopes are found in every habitat on the earth. They live and thrive in all environments such as atmosphere, water, soil in and on living organisms, including hostile environments such as glaciers, deserts, hot springs, deep sea, and saline environment. There is a tremendous biological diversity among microorganisms, so they differ in the morphological characters as well as in physiological mechanisms. So here they have given us some examples. Example: bacteria, some algae, some fungal species, protozoans like amoeba and paramecium. So you can observe some permanent sites of organisms in your laboratory. Bacteria, yeast, algae species, a fungal variety, amoeba, paramecium. So if I have the ability to put these pictures in this video, I'll put. So when I'm doing the editing part, I'll check and do. Okay. For extra knowledge, virus shows living features as well as non-living features. Although viruses are discussed under microorganisms, there is no conclusion yet as to whether they are living or non-living. Viruses can be observed through electron microscope. So this lesson, this thing you learn in grade 7 in this lesson. So now this COVID-19 virus is the very it's a very, I don't know how to tell it. It's the very big virus came in our life. So I cannot measure it. So these viruses are discussed under microorganisms. So these viruses cannot be observed in just a normal microscope or a light microscope. This one can be observed through an electron microscope. So in Sri Lanka, we are having a minimum number of electron microscope, but there are light microscope many as well. So light microscope, we can just find out some bacteria, those stuff. But in the electron microscope is everything we can do from electron microscope, and we can find the viruses as well. Okay, so the Dutch scientist Anthony van Leeuwenhoek observed microorganisms for the very first time in 1674 using a simple microscope that he invented. So, exploration of microorganisms was possible with further developments in microscopy. So, my dear friends, the Dutch scientists, remember these are very important points in the exam. Who is the Dutch scientist who observed microorganisms for the very first time in 1674? So, who is the Dutch scientist? Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. So, he is the very first time he was the observed a microorganism for the very first time in 1674. Okay? Okay, my dear friends. So, now let's move into section 1.2. Hi, so my dear friends, now let's move for section 1.2, which is effects of microorganisms on food. The growth of some microorganisms on food make them not suitable for human consumption. So do assignment 1.1 and activity 1.2 to observe the effects on microorganisms on food. So my dear friends, here you are having an activity 1.1. So I will do this one. Get some food samples of bread, vegetables, fruits, milk, meat or fish, rice, butter in fresh condition. Observe their nature carefully. That means the particular product which is now in the fresh condition. Again, observe the nature of these samples after 24 hours, 48 hours and 72 hours and tabulate your observation. So, here they have given us a small, like a box, a diagram, food item, fresh food, color, texture, odor, appearance, after 24 hours, after 48 hours, after 72 hours. So you need to fill up these with the food items. So please, like for example, when you take bread, what is the color? That means basically first take the fresh food, food. The bread color, texture, odor, appearance after 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, and next after that product we are going to take another product. For example, like rice or meat or fish. Actually it's like weird, weird, right? Like meat or fish, very smelly, so you can take like vegetables, bread, milk, like those. Okay, so my dear friends, they are asking to tabulate the followings and fill up this diagram. So please fill this diagram and do all of this. The microbial activities change the color, texture, odor, and appearance of food. The taste and nutritional value of food also change. Yes. So now when we keep like for example, now with me I'm having this leaf. So okay, think about this leaf like we think this leaf is like a bread, like no, now the actual thing is leaf. So now you think this leaf is the bread. So when we keep this bread product for 24 hours, what is the color, what is the texture, wood, appearance? Now for another day, 48 hours, it will change, right? So the nutritional value, if this bread is 120, the fresh food, after 24 hours like 190, like that can nutrition values can be changed. So remember that one. So food become unfavorable for consumption due to the change of properties. So this is known as spoilage of the food. So sometimes like I don't know this is the correct word that I tend to use is නරක් වෙලා කියලා කියන්නේ අපි like මාළුවෙක් නරක් වෙලා, එළවලු නරක් වෙලා, like that. Sometimes your parents can be tell. So like that because of the spoilage of the properties. Food. So the main reason for food spoilage is the growth of microorganisms on food. So remember what is the main reason of the food spoilage is the growth of the microorganisms on food. Okay, activity 1.2. Hope you understand this one. So let's move for activity 1.2. Okay, my dear friends, activity 1.2, you will need a slice of bread, some water, a glass slide, a cover slip, microscope. So method, if you have a microscope, you can do this one. Spray some water on the slice of bread, keep it for 3 days. Take some of the substance grow on the slice of bread and place on the glass slide. Put a drop of water on it. Cover the slide with a cover slip. Observe the slide through the microscope under the low power. Draw what you observe. So in here, my dear friends, you need to spray some water of the slice of the bread and keep it for 3 days. And that is the substance will grow of the slice and place the glass slide. Put a drop of water on it also. So cover the slide with a cover slip. Observe the slide through the microscope under the low power and draw what you observe. Okay, my dear friends. So in figure 1.4, they have given the slice of bread with fungi as well as the microscopic view of fungi. You will observe that there are some fibers and duct structures on bread. So they are a kind of fungi which spoils bread. So you can observe that microbial growth causes food spoilage. So the main reason for food spoilage is the growth of microorganisms on food and the release of their byproducts. activity 1.3, you need sugar is a balloon, warm water 40 Celsius, a bottle 500 milliliter, a beaker, suitable container. So method, dissolve 2 teaspoons of sugar in 200 milliliter of warm water. Add 1 teaspoon of yeast into the above sugar solution. Leave it for about 20 minutes and observe figure 1.5a. So is like that. Next, pour a newly prepared solution into the bottle. Then fix a balloon to the mouth of the bottle. Record your observations after about 20 minutes. Okay, my dear friends. So I recommended you to do these activities because very easy. But sometimes now with this COVID-19 pandemic, very hard to find those stuff. The products, equipments. But it's okay. After the COVID-19 pandemic, you can do all of these and check another more channels which they do these ones. But I'll try to do my best to buy a light microscope for all of these experiments and activities. So before this video, we did the honest book review segment part 1. So we will be doing the part 2 also. So stay tuned with VM Education. Help us to take the first 100 subscribers. So now we are having 80 subscribers, so 20 more subscribers. So please give us the fullest support to develop our channel VM Education, and don't go anywhere with this situation. Please wear a mask and a sanitizer, spray sanitizer every time. And if any of your elder is at home, like your grandmother, don't go anywhere, because take care of them, because if they get COVID, that's very, very dangerous. So my dear friends, I'll do the rest of the part in another video, namely science grade 8 grade 8 part 1 textbook, importance of microorganisms. So I mentioned this one as part 1 of importance of microorganisms, grade 8 science. So in part 2, let's meet up. So my dear friends, stay safe and may Triple Gemini bless you all. Bye.